Goody, that was a pretty hot start. You must be pretty impressed with that. How happy were you with the way that the guys started tonight?
Yeah, look, I thought we were sensational at the start of the game. I thought our mids, got on top of clearance and centre bounce, and that gave us great ascendancy in the game. Our forward pressure was really strong, and we were able to score, early in the game, which gave us a really good buffer in the game and enabled us to dictate a bit of how the rest of the game was played. So that was really pleasing to get off to that fast start. It's something we've been working on the last few weeks, and it went a long way to winning the game.
Goody, was that your almost complete performance of the year? I know you put it together in quarters and halves, but did you really feel tonight that was just a four-quarter performance?
Yeah, I think just in terms of the opposition, we knew we were playing against a quality side, and their ability to transition the ball from inside to outside has been really strong. So our ability to defend strongly and win enough contests and be efficient going forward was clearly on show for the majority of the night. And I was just really proud of the boys, the way they went about it. It wasn't the perfect week, but their ability to deal with that, the maturity shown, and their ability to execute what we were trying to do was outstanding. And that's clearly one of their best performances for the year.
Simon, as an onlooker, it really looked like your pressure and the way you set up defensively around the ground really forced the Bulldogs, who regarded as one of the best users of the ball in the comp, into many turnovers and skill errors. Was that perhaps the most pleasing aspect of the whole performance?
Yeah, it's probably something we've been working on and become part of our DNA of how we play, is our ability to defend. And last week against Adelaide, we were certainly not to the level of where we wanted to be, and it was an area of our game that we wanted to bounce back in. And we knew the Bulldogs were a team that wanted to move the ball a certain way, and our ability to defend the most dangerous areas and put them into spots that they didn't want to be enabled us to defend really strongly behind the ball. So it was a really pleasing effort from that side of things, and it continues our belief in our ability to play a certain way and our belief in our game style. And I'm sure our supporters that are at home watching tonight are starting to really see what the Melbourne DNA is, and that was on show on the biggest stage, which was great.
Goody, there seemed to be a reluctance on the part of the Bulldogs to kick down the line, particularly in that first quarter, and there was some lateral ball movement which you guys were able to intercept regularly. Did you anticipate that might be a strategy on their part, or did you just have to adjust accordingly?
Yeah, that's how they've played. They've been the number one team that score through the corridor, and they do like to switch the ball. So we understood that in terms of how they played and how we wanted to set up defensively. But with a team like Western Bulldogs, you've got to be ready for anything. They can play multiple ways, and that's why they're a good side. So our ability to execute the areas that we wanted to is really strong.
How hard was it to plan, given the interruptions during the week, Simon?
Yeah, it was different. Doing a team meeting on Zoom yesterday was a new experience. Wasn't getting a lot of feedback from the boys, but must have gone okay. But look, it was different. And one thing that's been, we've been really working towards is just being ready for anything. No one knows what the situations you're going to be faced, and we want to be a team that's just mature enough to handle anything that comes our way. And for us this week, it was having no last training session. The guys were in isolation. They weren't allowed out of the house for the last 24 hours. So it was different, but we didn't want to make that as an excuse. We wanted to make sure that we prepared as best we could and come out and put on a performance that we're really proud of. And I think that just shows the maturity of the group at the moment.
James Harms, Simon, pretty incredible performance on Tom Liberatore, considering Libba's the leading the comp in clearances, and I think he only had 4 tonight. What do you make of James's performance?
Yeah, he was sensational. We gave him that role early in the week. We want him to really nullify him, especially at stoppage and clearance, and he certainly executed his role incredibly well. So Liberatore has been a massive player for the Dogs in his ability to win it on the inside and get it to a lot of their players on the outside. So I thought his role was instrumental in getting some dominance, especially early in the game around clearance.
But you've obviously done a great job this year of the players ignoring the external hype and ignoring the external noise. The premiership favourite tags come up in articles this weekend and discussion next week. Do you address that with the players, or just let them deal with it?
Oh, not at all, Tom. That's the furthest thing from our minds at the moment. This group has been sensational at just resetting and dealing with each week that comes their way. And I know from a supporters' perspective, it's brilliant what the boys are doing, and I'm sure our supporters are incredibly excited, and so they should be. But we've still got a lot of improving to do as a side in the second half of the year to be the team that we want to be and to execute when it really matters. So that's our sole focus, to make sure we reset every week and make sure we continue to improve as the year goes on.
Hey Simon, what happened with Ed Langdon late?
Yeah, he got a little knock to the head, Ed, so he's been assessed of having concussion, so that'll be straight into a 12-day protocol. So he's the only guy that's come out of tonight with an injury, but so he'll have the standard 12 days and hopefully we'll get him back in a few weeks.
Spoke about the difficulty of preparing for this week. What about for next week with further uncertainty about what happens with the fixture next week?
Yeah, who knows? I think there's a lot of uncertainty around what that looks like. I think we all sit here in Victoria and pray that we all get on top of COVID and we can reel this thing in. But from a footy perspective, we don't know, and we're okay in that space. We'll deal with whatever comes our way, whatever the AFL give us. We'll just move forward and prepare as best we can. But what we do is we pray that Victoria gets on top of this.
Just going through what you went last year, sort of make it easier this year, considering you spent so much time away from home. Can you sort of plan a bit better this year?
I think the players have got a better understanding of what it looks like, and as we do as a club. And one thing that we're all committed to as an industry is continuing to get our game through this, and whatever that takes. And I think we all sat here throughout at the start of the year knowing that there might be a situation that would arise where we'd all have to do things differently, and it's come our way in the middle of the year. So I think all the clubs will just do what's required to make sure our game gets through this, and we put on a great show for the supporters and the broadcasters and everyone alike.
Last one,
Simon, was there a moment yesterday morning when you thought perhaps this game might have been off?
I think there was always some doubt about what it would look like. There was a lot of uncertainty heading into yesterday, and obviously when you're getting some COVID tests at Marvel, there was some uncertainty. But as soon as we knew that it was game on, we were prepared for the game and ready to go.
Are you definitely going to be in Melbourne for the rest of the weekend, Simon? Do you know that for sure? Or
I have no idea, Pete. All we've been told is just be prepared for anything. So I'm sure I'll wake up tomorrow with some messages on my phone about what's going on.
Thanks, Goody.
Thanks, guys.